You are listening to BL in the Air. My name is Shai,
And I'm Alex.
and today we are going to get into a show I'm so excited to talk about. I feel like I say that every week, but especially this week because we are
Mhm.
covering Not Me, which is, I feel like, just one of the best like GMM TV BLs and my favorite off-gun show.
Mhm.
So we're going to be getting into that, but before we do that, Alex, what's in the air with you today? What have you been reading or listening to or watching or anything like that?
Okay, so last week we had a category on our best of 2025 that was best non-Thai BL. And,
Mm,
and I really wanted to say it was To My Shore, but I was like, these shows keep failing me on the last episode.
yeah.
I watched the last episode.
Mhm.
I've spent weeks going, I hate the main character. He's awful. I don't want them to be in game. I hate it. And And then so I started the last episode and I was like, they have 40 minutes to convince me. And
Mhm.
they did.
Oh, they did?
They did. I love it. It is my
Whoa.
favorite show. They are in
I've
game. It's fine.
okay. I've never heard of a BL having like a good ending before. Like I feel like they usually like crash and burn at that point.
Oh no, I was in tears. I am in withdrawal again. I want to go rewatch it just so I can put myself through that pain again. Um
Okay. Is that one is it Taiwanese or is it like
no, it's
mainland
Chinese. Yeah.
Chinese? Well, I love that
So
um what's it called? The Omegaverse one. That they're just like,
ABO.
eh, fuck it. Yeah, since ABO.
Yeah. Um because ABO Desire was definitely my favorite until this one. Um
Mhm.
ABO Desire is already toxic. It is
Mhm.
incredibly toxic. This is more toxic, in my opinion.
What is this one about? I feel like you've told me before, but I forget.
So you have like this pharmaceutical scientist, whatever, and then you have like rich Chable, basically, right? Um,
Mhm.
for to use Korean terms for a Chinese show, my bad.
Mm.
Um, you have that, and I'll say there's some pieces that I still don't understand, which is part of why I want to watch it again, because they like
Mhm.
meet because they get in a car accident, totally accident. The pharmaceutical guy hit the other one. Was like looking at his GPS or something like that because he was like new in town. Because this is set in Thailand, so
Whoa, plot
there's like
twist.
no Thai people, but it's set in Thailand. Um,
Okay.
they're doing
Wasn't
business
expecting
and
that.
yeah. They explain it. It's fine. Um,
Mhm. I
it's
wonder if it, like was it produced in Thailand? Like, is that how they got around censorship, or is it just since ABO, like, just other companies are like, "Fuck it, we're gonna do it too."
So the MDL says it's co-produced with Thailand. So I don't
Okay,
know who produced it,
because I know
but
that's one way that like Chinese like showrunners get around the censorship is they're like, "Oh, the show I produced the show in Thailand or Taiwan, so technically
yeah, it's not
it's a
Chinese,
Thai
right?
show or Taiwanese
Yeah.
show." But okay. Anyway,
So
sorry. Continue.
it's really funny. So the rich guy is he like grew up in Thailand, I guess. So he speaks Thai. So he'll like randomly switch to Thai and nobody around him will understand him because he's around nothing but Chinese people. And everyone's like, "What?"
Mhm.
And he's just like, "Oh, my bad." But he's like cussing people out or confessing or like doing random shit like that. Like he's very intentional when he does it, but it's just
Hmm.
so it's fun. But for whatever reason, rich guy has a vendetta against this like scientist now. And so he ruins his life. Just
Okay.
does
Because of
everything
the
he
car
can to
accident.
because because of this accidental like car accident, like he is just like enraged. And it's one of those of like it's not small, like literally ruins his career, ruins his relationship, like like destroys him on a level where I was surprised the guy didn't attempt to commit suicide.
Okay.
Like
And they
it's depressing as fuck.
and okay, is it always, like, romantic interest in the show, or does that come, like, later? Or is
So
that a spoiler?
like part of his way of like ruining his life is by getting close to him. So he
Mhm.
makes this pharmaceutical guy fall in love with him in the process of everything, right?
Oh, I
So he
see.
ruins because the pharmaceutical guy is like in a relationship with like some little like twink, right? So he ruins that. He ends that by also convincing the twink to date him secretly.
Oh my god,
Right?
okay.
Right, so he does that, and then he, convinces the other guy to fall in love with them, but he's like, he's like, "Oh, it's gonna be a hoax," but obviously he falls in love too, right? Which is where the next problem comes in, because now he's like, once everything hits the fan and this guy's life is ruined, after that, he's like, "Okay, but actually I do kind of love you, so can you just stay by my side anyway?" And the other one's like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?" Like, you ruined literally every aspect of my life. Like, the families getting yeah, both families I think end up involved. Like, it's a whole thing. It's so upsetting. It's so toxic.
Okay.
Um,
It sounds interesting.
I thought it was a great time. But I'm telling you, every week we talk about it, or like in the Discord server, I just be like, I'm just so mad at this show. I
Yeah.
hate, like, the acting's great, and I'm just like, I hate this one guy so much, and then I don't hate him, and I love them, and I'm glad they're together.
Alright.
So
I'm intrigued. I'll have to check it out.
yeah,
'Cause I do sometimes I get in a mood where I'm like, I just wanna watch something toxic.
hmm it's a good
So,
toxic one. Um,
okay. Awesome.
so besides that, I watched Heated Rivalry.
Yay! And what'd you think?
Okay, so I love it. The
Mhm.
caveat for me is I think I fell for the everybody overhyped it issue,
Okay.
where I think everyone was so excited that I was like waiting up here, and then it wasn't
Mhm.
quite as high. So I was like,
Yeah.
maybe I didn't like
I
it.
I don't think anyone expected it to get nearly as popular as it did. Like, it's kind of insane how quick it blew up and how fast.
Yeah. So it's one of those. I loved it. I immediately listened to the audiobook, so I finished that at lunch today. Um
Mhm.
I like how many of the lines from the book are straight in the show. Like, they just didn't even
Yeah.
deviate the script. I was like, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, I recognize these lines. Um I will say I keep seeing more and more of this bullshit of, oh, it's better than anything Thailand can do, and
Mm.
it's like, yeah, but they're white. I'm like, oh, we're just being blatant about the racism. Got it.
Yeah. Also, one of the characters is Asian. Like, I feel
Right?
like
That's
people are just like, "Oh, these white boys," and I'm like,
he's not. He's not. But
"Okay."
okay. I'm like, and I
Yeah, I
just
know. I see a lot of that too, the disparaging comments about, um, like, oh my god, we got one. I got one comment specifically, and I'm sure they're not gonna watch this video,
yeah.
but they were like, I was recommending Thai BLs. I was like, okay, I think if you like Heated Rivalry, you've never seen Thai shows before, but because a lot of people were like, oh, I wish there were gay shows other than like Young Royals and Royal Blue, whatever. And I was like, there are. Here's some Thai shows like maybe you would like.
Mhm.
And someone was like, those are boys, love. I want real men. You are narrow minded because the only thing they have in common is that they're gay. I want like real men stories. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that. I'm sorry. Like
Yeah.
the the characters like that of the shows I recommended are like the same age as the characters in Heat of Rivalry.
Right? So that's
Nothing makes them boys compared to like the Western shows, which are real men.
the started
Like
heated rivalry, they're 18.
yeah,
They're boys.
exactly.
You know, like,
Yeah, they're like
they're legally men,
18 to
but
like 26 it takes place
yeah.
between. And I was like, I was recommending like Wandy Good Day, where I'm like, well, one's like a freaking doctor and
Yeah.
like
So he's
they're
like
in their
late
like mid
20s,
late
early. Yeah.
20s. Yeah. I don't know, but stuff like I've seen like a couple of things like that where it's just like just because it comes from the Asian like BL industry doesn't mean it's less than or that it's more like fetishizing. I see that a lot
Yeah.
too from this is a shout out to Rainbow Rowell who's just like, yeah, the entire BL industry is like a bunch of fetishizing tropes, whereas my Western boys' love story is pure and good. And it's like, girl, you don't I don't see any racism in that, like,
Yikes.
at all.
So, yeah, I've been trying, it took over my social media. even before I watched
Mhm.
it. And I've been having
Yeah.
to like fight the algorithm to get it back off because I'm like I can't every I spend a lot of time in TikTok comments because that's where all the fun is. Um and then you get to like a lot of this and there's been so much like negativity because everyone's all like, yeah, no, there's a lot of other stuff. If you don't like Thai, there's Korean, there's Chinese, there's
Mhm.
Japanese, and they all have their pros and cons to whatever kind of content you like, right? And everyone's like, no. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't deal with it.
I know. It's like it's so dumb because like yeah, these are like a lot of times the same people who are like they don't make gay shows, and I'm like they do. They just are in Asia. Like 95% of them are Thai or Korean or Japanese or Chinese or Taiwanese or even
Hmm.
like Filipino shows. They do exist.
Yep.
If you want to ignore them, I guess you can do that, but you can't then claim that there's
Yeah.
nothing else. And you can't claim that like one is better than the other cuz that's just like it's like based on what? Like really you've seen every Thai show and you think none of them are as good as Heated Rivalry? Like I don't know. That's kind of crazy, but
I would argue Not Me is just as good, if not better, than so much gay media in the US that I've seen, right?
yeah,
It
and gaming in the US is severely, severely lacking. Like,
Mhm.
I totally agree with that. But I do
So,
think because there is so much less in, like, the US and Canada and, because of that, it balances out. Like, whereas, like, yeah, maybe there are worse gay shows in Thailand, but there's also better ones because they make so many more,
yep.
you know?
That's where
So,
you engage in the community and you ask for recommendations on where do I start. And then,
yeah.
you have that conversation of here's the type of show I want, right? And that's where, you come up with do you want something spicy, spicier, less spicy? Because there's plenty that's not. Because that's my favorite is watching the comment section and you'll have one comment that'll be Thai BLs are too spicy. And then the comment underneath it is Thai BLs aren't spicy enough.
Yeah, it's
Like
so subjective.
it is, and then it also just depends. Like it's a spectrum. There's so many Thai BLs. You have some where
Mhm.
there really isn't any spice, and then you have some where it's like, are we sure they didn't have sex? Like.
And then you have Playboy the series.
I can't believe they're doing a sequel.
We're not recommending that to
No, don't watch
people. I
Playboy
feel like
for
that
the.
would be unless I know the person super well, I would not recommend them Playboy the series, but it does exist.
I can't recommend a show I haven't been able to finish myself.
Yeah.
Ah,
But yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
that I think that's our second week in a row where we rant about
yeah.
the
I
general
just
reaction to Heated Rivalry.
like. I mean, the show's good. I think
Mhm.
I think maybe last week. I don't know if it was on record or off record, but you said that you liked the show better than the book, and I will agree.
Mhm. I
I
I think they took the best bits out of the book and condensed it into the show for sure.
I'm not crazy about the writing style. It was my
Mhm.
biggest complaint, and also I listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, I did too.
I I don't know who that is talking, but I dislike him.
Yeah. Yeah, the audiobook was kind of a lot.
I his Russian accent. I was like, I okay. Like not that I
Mhm.
can do a Russian accent either, but like okay.
Yeah, I definitely preferred the show,
Yeah.
but, you know.
Yeah. I still enjoyed the book. I'll get through the other ones.
Mhm.
It's just gonna
Yeah.
take time.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, but what about you? What's been in the air?
Well, real quick, because I don't have much to share, because I have not been watching anything other than this show I've been rewatching,
Mm.
but I did start a book called Luck in the Shadows.
Mhm.
It is from the Night Runner series, and I don't know anything about it, but I think I'm getting gay vibes. So
Okay.
that's why I'm bringing it up. It's by Lynn Flelwelling, and it's like a fantasy novel published in the 90s. And yeah, I'm not that far into it. Right now they're just kind of like lying to people. But
Okay.
I love fantasy and I feel like it was recommended, like, I saw it recommended by someone, and I think it's gay, so I was like, "Okay, I'll check it out." So, we'll see. I don't know how many books are even in the series. Maybe this is the moment where I find out that there's, like, 30 books, but,
I can confirm it's gay.
okay, cool. Yeah, those that's definitely the vibes I'm getting from the first, like, 100 pages.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like it's rare to have a gay high fantasy book. I don't know that I've ever seen one before.
um,
I'm
I've read a lot of, like, sapphic ones, I
mm,
feel, but I don't really think I've read that many, like, uh, ones.
mhm.
So, if you want a good lesbian high fantasy book, Priory of the Orange Tree, my favorite book of all time, maybe. That
Okay.
one's really good. That one's not a lot of romance. That's definitely more fantasy than anything, but there are
Mhm.
lesbians. So yeah, this one though, cause yeah, I was like, well, it's published in the '90s, so like I don't know, we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm just like have the audiobook available, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
all I'm reading right now. Let me know if anyone has read that, if they like it. So it looks like there's like a lot of books. There's like 6 books in this. There's 7 books in the series. So
Mhm.
I have a long road ahead of me.
I like that though. When I start a series, it's like forever long. Just
Mm-hmm.
so that way, as long as I enjoy it,
Yeah.
that way you don't have to quite let go of characters too quick.
But anyway, I guess we can get into our show today.
Mhm.
So we are talking about Not Me, which aired the very end of 2021 to like March of 2022. And the show, it's about Black and White, who are twins. They're separated at some point during their childhood. And then when Black is almost murdered, White comes and like takes his place in Black's gang to try to figure out like who the killer is. So, right away, great plot idea. Like I love this.
Can I say for like 2021, 2022 doesn't feel that old, but in BL terms, it's
Mhm.
pretty old now, right? As
Yeah, I
far
would say
as
like the industry like exploded like 2021. And that's when we have like some of our best shows from GMM like
yeah,
uh Bad Buddy and Thousand Stars in this show. Like I'm like, "Oh, this feels like the golden age."
yeah, because I was gonna say this one aged well.
Yes. It aged it aged too well to the point where when I was watching it, I was kind of depressed about the state of their shows today, where I was like,
Yeah,
"Damn, I don't know the last time I watched like a GMM show where I was this invested in it." And even as I'm watching like Burnout Syndrome right now, which
it doesn't hit
stars the
the
same
same.
actors,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it doesn't hit the same. Like the pacing isn't as tight as this one, and like I am really liking it and I want to see what happens, but it feels more directionless.
Yeah, which is
And
interesting
that's
because they've cut down on show length, and this is
yes.
longer.
Yes, this is 14 episodes and it feels like it has just such a solid direction, and honestly, the difference I feel like is the writing. Like not
Yeah,
to Burnout Syndrome specifically, but to just their
in
general
general.
shows.
Yeah,
I feel like I was like, "Man, they really like the writing in this is really good." And like the budget.
yeah.
Like not that it's the highest budget show ever, but I was like, "Oh damn, like they have like beautiful scenes and cinematography and stuff."
I have high hopes for Ticket to Heaven. To,
Yeah.
I'm scared that my hopes are too high, but
Mhm.
I don't I feel like that's gonna be as close to hitting in that way as this
Mhm.
did, just because it's gonna be a heavier topic again. 'Cause the topic of this one is heavy, and
Yes, I feel like this is notably one of the heaviest GMM BLs.
yeah, and so it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. And
Mhm.
I got a trigger warning for an episode. I don't know if you got the
I
trigger warning.
I could do that too. I had to select yes.
Yes, for a potential suicide. So, just a heads up.
Mhm.
It's heavy in a few different directions, but that is one of them.
Yes, and we will be spoiling the entire show.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it and you care about that, I would click off. There are some like really good plot twists on this show that
Mhm.
got me the first time, so
Yeah.
but we'll spoil it for you.
Yeah, rewatching it, it's one of those, how did I not catch
I
any of
know,
it?
both of the twists. I was like, what was wrong with me? Like there's 3 twists actually. And I feel like I mean one of them they kind of tell us right away, but
I was like, I can only think of 2.
yeah. Yeah, there's like a third one, but it's small, so I'll point it out when we get there, but
Okay.
Um, our cast for the show, both Black and White, the twins, are played by Gunn, and Sean is played by Off, Gam is played by Mond, Yok is played by First, Goompa is played by Papang, Dan is played by Fluke, and Todd is played by Sing.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, that's
Gawain.
the
I
main
do that
cast.
every single time.
Oh yeah, Gawain. I
I
know. Well,
Cuz
I forget too because he used to go by Fluke and now he goes by Gawain, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh yeah, which one is it?
Yeah, I was on autopilot when I was writing that down.
It's
So I'm
okay.
like, I was like, who's Fluke? And I was like, oh right.
I know. Well, I remember he used to be called Fluke, so I was like, oh, I always like forget too. But
Hmm.
and then we have Film and Look June. They play like the 2 girls in this show.
Wait, that was
But
Lookjun? Wait,
yeah,
and film? Oh my god,
and Film,
wait.
yeah, they
Wait.
just look so much younger.
Yeah.
Cause Film is Eugene and Look June is Namo.
Oh,
So
shit.
mm.
I
Yeah,
clearly I did
this
not pay
show is a
attention.
pretty good like Only Friends is like a good not me reunion because you have Mond, Look June, and First.
Mhm.
So yeah.
It's baby
Yeah,
faced.
they look
Yeah.
so baby.
I feel like Gun
Lookjun
doesn't
looks
age.
so hot in the show.
Mhm.
I love her
I know this was
hair.
like, wait a second.
This okay, I was texting Alex about this, but I was like, this is the most handsome cast I've ever seen in a show. Like the girls included, they're all
Mhm.
just so handsome. And Mond has this really pretty like silvery hair and yeah, they all look so good.
Mhm. Yeah, Mon's hair. I was just like, okay, can we go back to this era?
I would love to bring it back. Like, I'm sure getting it to that color is like so damaging,
Oh,
but
for sure.
I would kill for that again.
Um,
Well, should we get
jump straight
started?
into yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So episode 1 starts with Black and White as twins, and as kids. They're playing in a pool, and White almost drowns, and when he does, Black collapses too. Um, and so after that, the parents separate. I guess they fought all the time too. It seemed like there was kind of a
Mm-hmm.
toxic relationship there. And each of them took one of the twins. So we have kind of a parent trap situation here.
That's
Um,
exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, this is like such a crazy solution, but that's also what they do in Parent Trap is like
yeah,
during the divorce, just each parent gets a child and
it's
we
a
just
crazy
separate.
way to do it. But
Yeah, especially these two who grew up together
yeah,
till
because
they were
they're,
like 8 or
mhm,
something. Whereas in Parent Trap, at least they don't like remember each
yeah, they were
other.
babies.
Yeah.
Um, but part of the reason they did this, and I guess this sort of makes sense, is because this twin connection where like when one gets hurt, the other one feels it.
Mhm.
And they want to fade that connection is the plan. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I kind of get it because if one of them gets hurt and then they both end up hurt because of that, like it's a problem.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only reason they put this in the show really is
Yeah.
because of like to explain that. Because
Hmm.
otherwise, this twin connection like doesn't really impact much. Like, yeah, they can feel when each other are like almost dying, but it's not like that changes anything.
Well, that's because one of them is not awake for 2/3 of the show.
Yeah. But it's like even during the times where it's like, "Oh, my twin's dying. I'm fallen on the floor." They like don't
Yeah.
really do anything. So,
Yeah. I will say, I'm surprised. I guess we'll get to it when they're at the dinner and it happens, the first time
mhm.
in
Oh
like present
yeah.
day, and the dad doesn't
Yeah.
register anything. Um,
That is true, I didn't really think about that.
yeah, I didn't either until just now.
Okay.
So we have this. So they're split up at this point. And so then we jump to modern day, and White has spent like his entire time at this point living in Russia. And so he's coming back to Thailand. His dad's already back in Thailand. Um, and so he's back to living with his dad, and he has no contact with his mom and his brother Black. Um, and the dad, such an asshole, because White's like, "Hey, do you know where mom and Black are?" And his dad's just like, "No, don't
Yeah.
care." And it's like,
Like, that's crazy. I understand your wife, but your other child?
right, like the fact that they
Like,
didn't keep relationship with the other kids. Both these parents suck. In case you're
yeah.
wondering, both these parents
Mm.
suck.
Yeah, majorly.
Yeah. So while they're here, White's dad is like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get you a job at the ministry because it's where all he works. So like political job, right? Um, it's gonna pull those connections and have a nepo politician because that's what everybody needs." Um,
Mhm.
um, the show is very political, guys. Just
Very.
incredibly political. I will say I don't know that much about Thai politics, so can't comment
No.
too much on that. Um,
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it's pretty transferable in terms of, like,
yeah,
equality and corruption and class and stuff. The
yeah,
specifics, I don't know either, but, like, the general concepts are definitely, like,
yeah.
understandable.
Yeah, you don't have to understand Thai politics to get into the show, but it's
Mhm.
I'm sure there's some things we've missed just from
Mhm.
not understanding stuff.
For sure.
Um so yeah, so we have that. Um and then like part of that is the dad and White are like at dinner with some politician friends whatever to make some connections. And while they're there, like White collapses from twin connection pain. Um
Mhm.
and again, like everybody like freaks out because he's collapsed on the ground. But I guess at this point, Dad's forgotten about this twin connection thing because he doesn't care about his children anyway.
I
Um,
guess so. Yeah, he doesn't bring it up or anything.
yeah, because it's one of those. It's like it happens and then like nothing happens. Um,
Mhm.
because like the next thing we see is White's getting a call from Todd, who is a childhood friend of theirs, um, of White and Black, and he's like, "Yeah, hey, so Black and I have stayed in contact this entire time, obviously because Black grew up in Thailand." Um, and Black's dying, just straight. And so they meet up at the ICU, and Todd's like catching him up, and he's like, Black's been in with this really bad crowd, and he's like in a gang now.
Mhm.
And so he's being hunted, whatever that means, right? Um and so White is like, okay, well, I want to figure out who the hell did this to him because Black looks rough as fuck.
Oh, yeah, he's purple. And,
Yeah,
like, he's in a coma, like,
yeah.
it's bad.
It's real bad. Um, so White's like, yeah, I am gonna go take his place in this gang, and I'm gonna investigate and see which of these motherfuckers did it, basically.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, it's real ride or die stuff.
Yeah, it's for the fact that these kids didn't have any contact with each other. I'll say both of them are very attached still.
Yes. Also, I do wanna point out that this is the exact plot of Playboy, the series, which is our second time mentioning it this episode, but it's literally the same plot.
Oh
Like,
my
this
god,
one
it
this show
is.
was came out years earlier, but it's so funny, like, because Playboy is the exact same thing.
Oh no.
Yeah. Hey, I guess it's a good plot, like, use it twice.
Yeah, I'll say it works out
3
better
times
than.
if you wanna conclude Pluto. Pluto has, like,
Oh yeah.
kind of the same plot too.
Oh god, I just.
Yeah, this is, like, the triad. Not me, Pluto, and Playboy.
Two of these are better than the other.
Yeah.
So, but White is like hardcore into replacing Black. So Black has like tattoos and piercings and all this stuff. So White has to go in like full makeover, like gets matching tattoos,
Mhm. Oh my god, I
gets his
would
ear
cry if I
pierced.
have to get Black's tattoos because
They're
they're
so
so
ugly.
ugly. Yeah,
It's just
I'm
big
like,
black bars on his arm.
yeah, I feel like at that point I would have just been like, sorry, and I'm lasered off. Like, that's
Right?
why I was missing. I'm not getting that.
Yeah, I don't think you get away with it without getting that. I think immediate. Well,
Well, it doesn't
I
help
don't know.
because
These guys are
Black
kind of
always
dumb.
wears these like cut off
Yeah, it's
tank
always
tops.
exposed. So yeah,
Yeah, it would be hard, but I would be like,
yeah. I'd definitely be like, okay, I'm gonna be putting some money aside from dad to like pay to have that removed later.
yeah, exactly. It's hard to cover up. They're just so thick.
They're huge.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just my favorite was Gunn has his ears pierced anyway, so there's one point where there's like a close up of his face, and I like before any of this happened, it was like at the dinner or whatever, and I was like, oh, he has his like two piercings in his ear, right? So he's got like two in the lobe or whatever, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that about Gunn, and then like they show him getting his ear pierced, and I'm like, it's already pierced. It was really funny, just made me giggle a little.
Yeah, it's like in when you watch like a period piece or whatever, or like The Untamed, and it's like, okay, Wong Yibo has his ears pierced in this scene, like very clearly.
Yeah, it's funny.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, so they he does that and Todd's like helping him like with all of this and like giving him the rundown of who is who in his new friend group and all that.
Hmm. But it's like hard because Todd doesn't know them that well.
Yeah.
So like I love how this show, instead of giving us like a bunch of exposition, we like figure things out with White as he goes
Mhm.
through. Like we meet these characters and we don't really know, like he knows maybe some of their names, but he doesn't know
Yeah.
anything else or their relationship with Black. And so like we are kind of like stumbling through it in real time with him to like learn about the exposition.
Yeah, cuz he Todd's like here's Gum, he's like your friend in the same major as you. And then here's Sean who's whatever major and
Mhm.
and here's Yok who's whatever major. And like that's the only information he gets. And it's like
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
And like the only ones he knows are like the ones that I guess they're all in school technically. I would assume Todd's also in school even though he's just rich. Um
Yeah, maybe.
I
I
don't
don't
know if he is. He
remember.
might just straight up be like done with school and whatever.
Yeah.
Because White is really smart. So White graduated early. That he's not in school anymore, but now he's having to start a new major. like
Yeah, they're like in him and Gam are in like poli sci and Yoke
mhm.
is in art or something and Sean's
Yeah,
in
I
I
don't
don't know,
remember.
some poli sci thing too, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The only time you see him like anything in school is when he's like in the same classes as Gum and White. So
Mhm. Pretty much.
yeah. So because like you see him in his art classes doing the art thing. So um but yeah. So White then goes to uni and he's dressed as black in his like cut off clothes and whatever. And he meets up with Gum and he's immediately suspicious because he doesn't know what the fuck is going on with anything. It's
Mhm.
like the class they're in always starts with a quiz and he's like, "What? What
Mhm.
quiz?" Um
And he also shows up on time. They're like,
yeah.
"What?"
Since when? And
Mm.
so there's a lot of that. And Gom's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" But also like, whatever, dude. And then like they go to leave and everybody rides motorcycles, of course, right? And so White doesn't know how to ride a motorcycle and he showed up to school without a motorcycle. And Gom's like, "Where the fuck is your bike?" Like, who
Mhm.
are you, right? Like basically.
Yeah, like
And
he's like
White's
missing his arm basically.
yeah, and White's like, "Oh, it didn't start today." So and Gom's like, "What?"
Mm.
So, I they all let so much slide.
Yeah, at some point in the show too, even White is like, "Yeah, I'm terrible at pretending like I'm black," especially since I haven't known him for the last like 10 years.
Right?
But like he's like, but they all think like cuz he was missing for a bit. So he's like
Mhm.
they at least they all think I went through some sort of trauma and that's why I'm acting like weird. So he kind of leans on that. Like he doesn't even really try to act like black.
Yeah.
He's just like, "Yeah, they think I've just went through some trauma and I'm just going to go that route."
I think the trauma is the fire. I think they're like, "You're fucking weird," until then, and they're like, "Oh, he nearly, like, died in the fire." Spoilers.
Well, I think
And then
bef before
But
then, like, he was missing for several
yeah,
days, cause like, when he came back to see them for the first time, they were like, "Where the hell were you? Like,
yeah,
where did you go? What happened?" And he's just like, I can't talk about it."
yeah. I know after the fire thing happens and he like nearly dies there, they're all like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you changed your tune now because you nearly died.
Yeah.
Not so indestructible after all."
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so they go to this garage. And that's like their kind of like meetup place all the time, and that's where we meet Yok, who immediately is like pissy with White, who they all think is black, right? So everyone thinks this is black, not white. They all don't know that the black has a twin. So I guess is one
Mhm.
thing is
Mhm.
because at the moment, if I had a friend who had a twin and friends started acting weird, I'd be like, "Oh, you're the twin," like immediately, right? So
Yeah.
they don't know that white exists. So
Yeah.
it is just your friend is suddenly weird. So
Yeah, your friend who's an only child is acting weird. My first thought would not be twin.
no, so it'd be like, did you hit your head? So
Uh,
I will cut them a little slack.
yeah, me too. For
um,
now, at least,
for
it
now.
gets to a point, but
Yeah,
yeah,
for
definitely
now.
for the
Yeah,
majority of the show.
yeah. So Yoke is being an asshole to White for some reason. And then we meet Sean, who again is played by Off, who just completely despises Black. Just
Mhm.
straight up. There's a lot of beef there. Um and White is like snooping around, I think trying to figure out what the hell is going on here, and he like almost breaks into like Sean's room, snooping around, and he has to be like, "Oh yeah, I was looking for the bathroom." And Sean's like, "The fuck? You know
Like
where the
you know
bathroom's
where the
at."
bathroom is. Like he's like you're just obviously trying to fuck with me.
Yeah. So like already animosity, just making it worse, right? And then later on, like Sean is like working on like oil change on his motorcycle, and White walks right into the pan and spills it on him, and then they start wrestling in the oil after a tussle and all that, and it just absolute chaos. Um, and that's where we meet the garage owner, who is Gumpa. And he walks in. This man.
Mm,
But yeah, he's immediately like, "The fuck is going on? Why are you making a disaster in my garage? Go clean it up." So that's what they
mhm.
do. Um, and they're getting ready for like this weird, mysterious ride tonight, which is where Black really needed his motorcycle that he didn't bring.
Mhm. They're like, "Man, that's such a pain in our ass that like you can't ride your bike tonight. Like that fucks up our plans." And
Yeah,
White's like, sorry."
my bad.
Yeah.
While he's panicking because he has no idea what they're doing. Um,
Mhm.
and they're going over like the plan, and they're like changing out for like fake plates on their like motorcycles. And the plates are really funny too because one of them is like 1 January, like in Thai. So it's like they're like joke plates is what they look like. Um
Mhm.
and they're all masked up so you can't really see them. And that's Gumpa's like going over the plan, and he's like, "Black, your job is to do everything."
Yeah. He's like, you do this. Black, you have to do everything else. Got it?"
Right.
And
It's like, what
White's
the
like,
hell?
um, yeah, I got it. Don't worry, guys. I totally know the plan.
Yeah. And then it's, let's go burn down Towie's house. What?
It's like,
Crazy.
what did I get myself into?
I would be shitting a brick if I was White. Like,
Yeah. Well, he's like, oh shit, like I'm literally in a gang now. Like,
yeah,
fuck. And he doesn't know these guys are like a vigilante gang. Like, this
yeah,
is their way of performing social justice and stuff. Like, you know, they have good intentions and stuff. So right now he's just like, oh my god, I'm literally going to go murder people.
yeah. He definitely like freaks out because he's just like,
hmm
what if there's people in the house? And like,
Yeah.
we don't need to hurt. Why are we doing this? And everyone's like, this was your plan. What the fuck?
Yeah, like what you can't backtrack now. Like, come on. Episode 2. We get right into it. So they're on their way to Tawie's house and they like offer White a smoke and he declines, which is like weird for him because Black smokes a lot. Um And again, it's just like him like not blending in well. Like just take the smoke, dude. Like
To be fair, he's probably just gonna have a coughing fit if it's his first cigarette.
that's true. He probably would like it would like give him away more.
Yeah. So
That's
either
fair.
way, might as well as not take the nicotine.
Yeah. And fortunately, like while they're like at their like pit stop before they actually do the burning, Yoke goes over the whole plan again. Thank God. Which involves he's like, okay, we're gonna like take down the guards and then we're gonna commit arson and whatever and like um White is like literally freaking out, like I cannot believe, like, I'm got myself into this right now. And so he calls Todd. He, like, goes off. He's like, "Hey, like, I don't we're gonna burn down this house. Like, what am I doing?" And Todd's like, "Listen, you got this. Like, if you wanna find out who killed or who tried to kill your brother, like, you gotta blend in. Like, hop to, burn the house down," basically.
Insane, but
And
yeah.
yes. And so he comes back and he's all acting all nervous, and his friends are like, who are you talking to? Like, that was suspicious. Are you okay? What's going on?
Mhm.
And he's just like kind of concerned, like, are there people in the house? Like, is it gonna be empty? And they're like, we checked, like, I can guarantee it's empty. It's an abandoned house, so no one uses this house. Like, so we're good. We're just burning down an empty house, basically. But they're wrong because there is someone in that house. It is a graffiti artist, and he is like doing a mural. He takes a picture of it, and then the house goes up in flames. So they they see him up there as they're leaving, and like White immediately like runs back into the house to get him, which is stupid and doesn't get very far. And at least like his three friends, like the rest of the gang, they like pour they like jump in the fountain first and then go in. So like basically Gam saves or I think Yoke saves the
Yolk saves,
artist.
yeah,
Yeah, Yoke saves the artist and then Sean saves White who just like
passes
didn't make
out
it
from
far.
smoke inhalation.
Yes. Um, and then they all run away, and the artist runs away too before Yoke can see his face clearly. So, um, but that is like it's scary because first of all, like they're afraid like he works for Tawi and he saw their faces and stuff. But also White is freaking out too because he's like, oh man, we almost murdered a person. Like I
Yep.
can't do this.
Mhm. Fair.
Yeah. And so the next thing he tries to do is quit, cause he's basically like, "Yeah, I can't do this. We almost killed a person." And they basically just ignore him. They're like, "Yeah, whatever, man. Like, this literally was your idea. So, just like, I know you're like shook that you went through something and you also almost died in the fire, but like, whatever." And Gam specifically seems to be pretty close with Black, and so he kind of gives him like a pep talk, like, "Listen, this is what you want to do. This is your what you believe in. Everything we work towards. Like, you got this. We'll be more careful on the next one." Yeah, it's a crazy first day in the gang. Like, literally no context. Like, we're gonna go burn this house down and almost die.
Only had waited a day to show up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he could have gotten like a little bit more context before the big plan, but no,
Maybe
I love
stalk your brother's friend group before you, like, join them?
yeah. Yeah, I love that he truly went in knowing literally nothing. Um,
No, because
but hey, do what you gotta
even
do.
yeah, like, Gumpa wasn't on his radar at all
Yeah,
because
he had no idea who that was.
Todd didn't know him, right? Because Todd only knew the college friends, right?
Mhm.
And so he had no idea who Gumpa was. So when Gumpa like walked in, like while they're wrestling in the oil, he's just like, "Who the fuck is that?" Like, uh
Uh,
oh.
and Todd also was like, "Well, Black lives alone, so I don't think he's seeing anyone." And
Yep.
which is false because Black like was seeing someone too
Yes.
who he'll meet later, but there's just it's very clear that Todd is not very close with Black and
No.
doesn't know these certain things, so White is slightly set up to fail. But
Yeah.
he's kind of like, well, what other choice do I
Yeah.
have? You know, like the most effective thing is to like to walk in there, and if anyone is super shocked to see my face, like, to
Mhm.
see me walking around all healthy, then they're the one who did
Yeah.
it, basically, like, that's kind of all I have to do, and
Mhm.
if that doesn't happen, then I guess I have to dig around for more info.
Mhm. Yeah. So that does sort of clear the friend group a little bit since nobody
Um,
seems shocked. They're either really good actors or
yeah. Or they're not the culprits.
yeah.
This is also when we meet Namo, who is Sean's girlfriend. Not girlfriend together, one word, but I say girlfriend two separate words because it's established a couple times that even though they're seeing each other, they're not exclusive. Like Sean never asked her to be his girlfriend. So they're close friends and they are like kind of friends with benefits and there are some feelings there, but they are not in like a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Um
I'd say
and
they're unofficially exclusive. It's kind of the
yeah,
vibe.
yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So,
They're all intents and purposes like she's his girlfriend, but he's never asked her.
mhm.
And she's a graffiti artist and she is really cool and beautiful and awesome and
Yeah. I
she
love
will
her.
be my girlfriend later on. And so we meet her and then White on the side he is kind of living this double life at the moment where he is white around his dad and also like he's doing this interview process to work at the ministry. So he has to take some like written exam and like he goes to the exam and he's talking to this other guy who's doing it too and the guy's like, "Oh, like did you hear the news about the house Tawi's house burning down?" And White's like, "Yeah, what do you think?" And the guy kind of explains that like basically Tawi is like this super rich like terrible, he's like a billionaire or whatever, chaebol if we want to use Korean terms, where he's like, yeah, he owns like all the money, he owns all the influence, he owns the police and the politicians, and so burning his house down is like a form of activism, which I think this is the first time because like White has been living in Russia, so he knows Thai politics, but he hasn't lived here since he was a child, so I don't think he fully understood that like I think he thought that the gang was burning someone's house down because they were like criminals and terrible people, but this is kind of the first time where he's learning that they are activists and they are fighting for like equality and stuff, which is definitely more noble of a cause.
House specifically had something to do with the forestry industry.
Mhm.
So they don't go into a whole lot of detail that I could tell. So I don't know exactly what, but like
Yeah.
Tywee's fucking that up somehow. So, and
Yeah, some
this was to
form of
bring
like
attention to that. So,
mhm, like
which I think it
environmental
does. Yeah.
commentary.
Which I think it does because it does put a little bit of a news radar on his involvement in that. So,
Yeah, for sure. So, I guess that's good news, like, if you're gonna commit arson, it better be for a good reason.
hmm
Um, and so, okay, later he does the exam, goes well. He's back home later on, and Black starts to flatline in the hospital, and so White collapses again because they are connected now. At least he's like, in his house and not at a public dinner, but but Black is revived, and this kind of inspires White to keep going. He's like it's like a really shock of reality where like my brother is literally dying. Like I don't have an option. I have to continue. And
hmm
also the gang is not they're not bad. I should hear them out.
hmm
So, he's like re-inspired to not quit. And also Sean shows up at his house and he's like, "Please come back. I'm only asking you because Gumpa told me to." But it's like you can tell Sean is like very concerned about him and like how weird he's been acting and stuff. So, you
the,
know.
the has a really weird dynamic
Mhm.
where they don't necessarily get along,
Mhm.
and it's been made clear like a couple times throughout the show that like specifically like Sean and Black like have issues where like
Mhm.
Black's like left Sean behind in like a critical moment and stuff like that. And so it's like, okay, you're not so close that it's no man left behind, but also like
Mhm.
they do still care about each other to some level.
Yeah, it's like
So
they're like colleagues in the sense
yeah.
where they are just like a group of people who share the same ideology and they share the same goals and they are willing to go to this extent. Because, like, there's
Mhm,
a lot of activists on their campus, but a lot of them are like peaceful. Whereas
mhm.
these guys are more of like, we are going to use force, like, we are going to hurt people in the process. Like, they're more like vigilante group. And so, like, I think that's pretty rare to find a group who's willing to be violent activists. And
Yes.
so they're definitely like some of them are more than others are like colleagues where they're like, I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna help you, but like if it especially Black, he's like, if it's gonna get me in danger, then sorry, but
Bye.
like I'm leaving you behind. Like you're not my friend.
I got shit to do.
Yes. Better you than me.
Yeah, because I feel like Black and Gum are probably pretty close,
Mm.
but like you don't really see like Black ever hang out with like Yoke outside of at the garage.
Yeah, I don't
So
think they're super close.
no, but Sean and Yoke I think are kind of closer because Sean does go over to like Yoke's house, and it seems like it's not
Mhm.
unheard of for him to stay the night.
Yeah.
So you have like a little bit of that, but I don't even
Mhm.
think Yoke and Gum are really that close. You don't really get that vibe either. It feels like so.
Yeah. It definitely seems like Black is kind of the one who pisses people off in the group a
Yes,
little bit, but
for sure. But
yeah.
somehow he's like the leader.
Yeah, it seems like he's the one who has like the ideas and the plans and the balls to do this stuff, so he's kind of the leader because of that.
He's also got a lot of skills, which is where it's
Mhm.
like, okay, White has none of these. How do you how do you explain that, guys?
Yeah. Well, and one of the skills is how to ride a motorcycle,
Right.
which White doesn't know how. So he gets Todd to teach him, fortunately, and picks it up pretty quick. Um, and he's also kind of catching Todd up on what's happening. And he's like, it doesn't seem like any of my friends are surprised to see me, so I don't really suspect any of them. But Sean like really doesn't seem to get along with Black, so he's still kind of suspicious because of that. But more than anyone, he's like, I feel like it must be Tawi who sent his men after Black, and that's why he's hurt.
Makes sense.
So
I see the
yeah,
logic there.
I see the logic too. I think I would think the same.
Yeah. 'Cause that's I mean, that's the only like issue because it's Taui's like coming to campus at some point. They see like a sign for it, and like Gom is like, "Oh yeah, our beef with him," and it's like like everybody like has like they're aware of each other type of a thing.
Mhm.
So it's not
Yeah.
even just like a random like
Mhm.
beef.
Yeah.
So it would not be unsurprising for Tawi to like come after Black like that.
Mhm.
So, um, episode 3, Sean and White are now racing to the garage because White can now drive or ride a motorcycle. Um, and he's committed to the gang, so he's in it now. I will say he picks up riding incredibly fast. It's
He
not
does.
just
He
like,
does say like, "Oh, I do know how to ride like a scooter.
yeah,
I just don't know how to ride a motorcycle." And I'm like, "Ah, I guess maybe they're close enough, like
yeah,
transferable skills."
yeah. I just the him being willing to go so fast, I don't that would be my
Mhm.
block more than anything.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, my issue is stopping anyway on a motorcycle. My ex had one and we tried it in a parking lot and I freaked out and didn't know how to stop.
Yeah.
No motorcycle or Alex was hurt in the process, but I decided to be a passenger princess. Um,
Yeah. I mean, that's the one thing with anything you're riding, like, you gotta learn how to stop.
yeah, it's a little easier in a car.
Mhm.
So yeah, so White's now committed and everyone's like, cool, cool, cool. Glad you're back. Um, We hate you, but glad you're back.
Mhm.
And then we go back to White getting to be White, and he's passed the written exam that he took to work at the ministry as his diplomat or whatever he's gonna do. And so now he's got to do this interview, but nepotism is what's going to save him there, so it's fine. His dad's kind of like, don't even worry about it. Um,
Mhm.
because his dad found out before he did that he like passed the written part, because like he White went over to dad's place for like dinner or whatever, and dad was like, congratulations, and he's like, the results don't come out till tomorrow, and his dad's like, yeah, but I know people.
Mhm. I know you passed.
Yeah, like it's fine, you passed. Um, And then we see Sean again with Namo, and he's talking and he's venting to her, and he's like, Black's different. He's changed. You think?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know why, I don't know what happened, like and he has, like, this very negative opinion of Black, so he's always assuming the worst
Yeah.
kind of thing, like, he's just like, "Oh, he must be one of those guys where he's just all talk," but then when he's like he's always like, "I'm not afraid to die," but then when he's, like, actually faced with the possibility of dying, he's like like a coward
Yeah.
inside, is, like, what he thinks is happening.
Yeah. Which, I mean, fair assessment at that point, right? Because
Mhm.
he went from having all this talk and all these skills to having no skill and
Nothing.
freaking out. Um,
Yeah.
so I think it's a fair judgment at this point from what he knows.
Mhm.
And Yoke comes up. Then he shows up because they're at like a restaurant or something. Namo's doing like a mural on the wall for somebody. Um, and Yoke shows up and he's like, "Hey, Namo, you're a graffiti artist." He's like, "Do you know this artist named Is it UNAR or Unar?"
I think they say it like Unar or
Unar. Okay.
Unar or something.
Um. Well, Yoke asks if she knows him, and that's the guy that was at the burning building. He had written his name on the mural, of course. And Nama was like, yeah, he's very famous for his like art that's focused on like social satire. But he's anonymous, so like I know him, but I don't know him, you know? Um
Mhm. He's like Banksy.
yep. And Yoke's like, well, I want to work with him because we clearly have similar beliefs, so I'm gonna make it my mission now to figure out who the hell he is.
Also, I saw half his face and he was hot, so I'm
Right?
trying to find him. Yoke is very motivated by flirting.
Yes. So, and then we see Yoke at home, and his mom is deaf. And the sign language scenes were really cool. Um,
Mhm.
so, and but unfortunately, because she's deaf, she's having a hard time keeping jobs, and there's a lot of discrimination because she was like a maid in somebody's house, but they didn't realize that when they hired her, she was deaf. So they fired her because it made them uncomfortable, which is garbage.
Mhm.
Um, so we have that, and then we jump back over to White, who's now at his interview for this ministry job. And while waiting for the interview, he runs into that same guy from the last time, who's also interviewing for this position. I like how you wrote this, where the guy outwokes him.
Yeah.
Um, but it is a really interesting conversation, and you see White starting to realize a lot because White doesn't notice his privilege.
Oh, not at all.
Like he's so oblivious to his own privilege at this point.
Mhm.
And it's one of those like I can kind of understand it if that's the only world you know where you've never experienced anything because he is very sheltered,
Mhm.
right? So it's one of those like okay, because he's like he has good intentions, but he has no idea of the world.
Yeah. But this is
So
kind of the time I feel that you either embrace your privilege and you're just like, "Well, I was born this way and I'm just going to like continue with that because like I got lucky, what am I supposed to do?"
yeah,
Or you go woke and
join a
and you
vigilante group.
yeah, and you basically recognize your privilege and you fight to change
Yeah,
society instead
no,
of just accepting what society's handed out to you based on like luck basically.
yeah,
Um
for
and so
sure.
I think it's something he hasn't thought about.
No, but
It's
he
clearly something Black has kind of thought about and took a side on already, but White has
yeah.
not yet.
Yeah, White is very deep in his privilege, but
Yeah.
he's definitely internalizing everything he's hearing.
Mhm.
Between what he's heard from the gang, from what they've talked about, and what this guy has talked about, he's like, wait. And
Yeah.
he's also realizing his privilege within this job because like his last name carries weight because like
Yeah.
he went into like this interview when he was talking to the guy and he was so like, yeah, I'm not worried really about this interview, you know, he's I'm not super stressed. And the guy was like, oh, you're confident. And like when they called his name and they were like, whatever last name, and the guy was like, oh, as in whatever White's dad's name is. And White looks at him and goes, and he's kind of sheepish about it at this point of like, yeah, that's
Mhm.
my dad. And the guy goes, oh, that's why you're not worried about it. And you can tell the guy
Yeah.
immediately knows he's not getting the job, right? Like,
Yeah, cause and the guy was talking about too, like, I have to be so perfect at this interview to compete
mm,
with the people who have connections and are born just, like, high up in society, and then he doesn't
White.
realize he's talking to the person who
Yeah.
literally that like, he's the nepo baby, so
Yeah. And you can tell it really bothers White. And that's one of those things like I don't mean it lightly when I'm like, oh yeah, White has been in his little privileged bubble or whatever. He's very early 20s, right? Like he's college age and he has not lived any like he lived privileged life in Russia, which is a whole different world. So, it
mhm.
is nice to see that he's like, wait.
Yeah.
um,
It's like it is crazy to be like, "I can't believe you never thought about that before," but I do kinda think that's how rich people are.
no, for sure.
So, it's, like, accurate lore accurate.
Yeah, I think it's an accurate representation of somebody who's grown up just that privileged of just not having
Mhm.
if that's all you've ever been around is other privileged rich people,
Mhm.
you don't know how the average person runs.
Yeah.
So, and then it's one of those we don't know because Black would have grown up privileged too, right? Because his mom's a judge, right? So there's privilege there too. Because Sean has made enough comments about it.
Mhm.
So it's like I somehow in that Black figured it out. I exposure to the real world. I don't know.
Mhm.
um. So yeah, don't know how that happened. They don't ever explain it, but you know, whatever. But yeah, White definitely immediately is like, okay, I don't like that I have this privilege. This isn't fair. I don't like it because he likes things to be fair. I will say. So
Mhm.
yeah, honestly, do we ever find out what happens with this job? Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
we do. I think that's coming up the rest of the episode.
okay. Because like I know like the interview goes kind of meh, but
Yeah, so
so
because basically, like, at well, I guess you can keep going, but yeah,
yeah,
we find out what
okay,
happens.
okay. So after this interview, um, which at the interview I don't think we really see it. There's like one question they ask and I don't I don't think we see right away that the with the interview result or how that question went. Um, but we jump from there to we're back at the garage and White and Sean get into a boxing match that is crazy because it is just straight up no padding, nothing, no holding back. It is just a
Straight
brawl.
fist. I called it raw dogging boxing because they just straight up like,
Yeah, and like I thought Sean was gonna kill White there for a second.
mhm, he could have.
He really could have. Because Sean beats the shit out of White. White loses very clearly.
Mhm.
So Sean then has to help bandage him up. Because Gumpa
Mhm.
said so. Gumpa's such a dad in the show.
He is. I love him.
I do too. So at this point, it's pretty clear. Hindsight, the Gumpa has figured out that that's not black.
Oh my god. It's this scene is so obvious, but when I watched it the first time, I had no
No
idea. I,
idea.
like, did not pick up on this at all.
No. Because after everything, they're like, Gumpa's like practicing shooting or whatever. And while he's there, he's like talking to White and he goes, hi, I'm Gumpa. I'm the owner of this garage. And then watching that the second time, I thought he was just making a point. Right? Like the first time I watched it, I
Mhm.
was like, oh, it's just he making a point of like, I own this garage. I'm, you know, whatever, yada yada. I'm the
Mhm.
leader. bullshit, whatever. No, he was introducing himself.
Yeah, and that's definitely, like, it's so much clearer the second time you watch it, when the first time, like, I truly didn't think a
No,
single thing about this.
I thought he was just making a point, you know?
Yeah, but it's because it's after he feels, like, White's hands, and they're so soft because this man hasn't done a day of labor in his life,
No.
and he also doesn't know how to shoot a gun, and so that's, like, what triggers him to realize, and he's like,
Like, he doesn't
"Hi,
know how to
nice to meet
fight.
you."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Doesn't know how to
Gumpa.
doesn't know how to fight. Panicked in a mission that he shouldn't have panicked in. Doesn't know what the hell's going on half the time. Looked like he'd never seen Gumpa before in his life the first time they met, you
Yeah.
know. With soft hands, doesn't know how to shoot a gun. It's so
Mhm.
fucking funny. So yeah, Gumpa's like, let me train you real quick.
Yeah, he's like, "You need to stay in this garage for a month
Yeah.
and train here, like, you need to do this, dude, like, I'm gonna help you out."
Yeah. The fact that White didn't catch on either that he was busted.
Yeah. I will say Gumbo is quite everything after this though is quite, like, in the background, like, you can see him try to help White out, but it's very hands off,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
he lets White make plenty of mistakes and stuff and, like, to teach him,
Yeah.
so, he does a good job about, like, hiding it.
Yeah. To be fair, Gumpa is just like, I'm gonna let this play out because I don't know why he's here.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, so after Gumpa introduces himself and is like, you need to like stay. He's like, stay and like live at the garage for a bit.
Mhm.
Um, so there's that. And I think White was like, let me think on it. So White then goes back to Dad's house as White, and his dad is upset because White was like way too honest and too woke during the interview. And it upset the interviewers, right? Because that's not how politics works. In case you guys were wondering.
Yeah, because he was like they were like, "Oh, what do you how do you think the Thai justice system is?" And he's basically like, "Oh, definitely there's, like, corruption and stuff," but, like, he gave, like, an honest answer,
Yeah.
whereas what he was supposed to say was like, "Oh, Thai is very just, and we have a good justice system." But, like,
Yeah.
they don't wanna hear the honest answer,
No.
basically.
He does still pass though because of nepotism.
Mhm.
Um, but that's where I'm like, okay, I know he passed, but then we hear nothing about this job ever again.
So, I'm pretty sure this is so upsetting to him that he abandons
Is that what happened?
even
Okay.
trying. Yeah, they don't, because after this, we don't see his dad again. We don't see
Nothing.
him trying to get this job. Like, he just completely gives up on the job aspect and it goes 100% of his time as Black after this.
Yeah, and I just this is one of the few I don't have a lot of problems with the show, but this is one of the few problems I have because the way the dad is, there's no way the dad isn't up his ass. Like, where are you? Why aren't you doing? Like, why did like bugging the shit out of
Mm,
him, like blowing his phone up.
I don't know. Maybe he turned White's phone off
I'm sure
and
he
just was
did,
like,
but like the fact that it just never brought up again. I'm like, oh,
yeah, it is a
sure.
little weird how the dad just, like, disappears,
Yep.
but I guess I'm
Gone.
just kinda like, well, maybe the dad is just so, like, disgraced by his son acting this way, like, he already just, like, doesn't give a shit about Black, like,
Yeah, maybe he doesn't.
how
Yeah.
much does White have to do for him to, like, disown White now too? Like, both these parents are very into disowning their children,
Yeah.
so
So it's one of those. I'm like, it doesn't take away from the show. It just like again the first time watching it didn't even notice. It was the second time where I had time to think about
Mhm.
it, and I was like,
What happened to the dad?
wait a second.
Yeah,
um. So yeah, we have that. He passed, but only because of nepotism. I hope that other guy got the job.
I hope so too. He deserved it.
Because we don't see him ever again either. Um.
Mm.
So then Unar, whatever his name is, posts a picture of his new work. And it's at Taoi's Stadium. So Yolk sees it and is like, "Hey, wait a second!" And like runs there. And they're so fast, and he's looking at the art, and he like turns around and he sees like Unar is like there lurking. So he starts to chase after him, but Unar gets behind him and pulls a gun on him, which is terrifying. And
Mhm.
he's like, "Don't ever follow me again." It's like, cool, great. And that's never gonna stop
Noted.
Yoke. Yoke's like, cool, this is hotter now.
Yeah, Yoke is so into it.
So then White goes to the garage and he's like, fine, I'll stay for a month, whatever. You know, full in on this, right? And that's where Gumpa's like, cool, you're gonna share a room with Sean.
He's like, "There's plenty of space in there. It's like a small bedroom with one bed, but there's plenty of space for you."
Gumpa knows what he's doing.
He does.
So obviously, Sean and White immediately are bickering and arguing and problems. And Sean now privilege checks White again. So this is like twice in the same day. He's really going through it, but he's being privilege checked as Black this time because
Mhm.
obviously, like I mentioned earlier, Black also has his head start in life because his mom's a judge, right? So,
Mhm.
and not, it doesn't seem to be like a lower level judge either. Like she's way up there. So, you know, Sean's like, yeah, I've had a fucking hard life and you grew up with a judge mom. Um,
Mhm.
we are not the same, thank you very much. Um,
Yeah.
but then they share a bed because of course they do.
Nice. There's only one bed. What are you gonna do?
I will say Sean did try and make him sleep on the floor, but did not put up nearly that much of a fight about him sleeping in the bed. Because
No.
Sean had like a bunch of shit on the side of the bed where White is gonna sleep, and he's like, "Yeah, you can clean it up yourself." But the moment he starts, Sean's also like helping move shit immediately, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Dude, he's a lot
Yeah.
more talk with his anger than actual really is angry at Black." I feel.
Yeah, and I think he has like a lot of sympathy too, because he's like, this guy is like really going through it. Like, I don't know what happened to him, but he went through some traumatic experience and he's like not okay right now. So like I'll throw him a bone.
Yeah, and I honestly I think Sean and real Black's relationship, I think Sean's hurt more than anything because of
Yeah.
the whole abandoning thing. Like I
Mhm.
think outside I feel like besides that, like Sean would have been fine with Black if that didn't
Yeah.
happen. So I think it's not even like a real I hate you. It's a how could you do that to me, you know?
Yeah,
Um
right. Yeah, just like this
so
guy's selfish and he clearly doesn't care about me, so why should I put the effort in to care about him?
yeah. But Sean has a good heart, so
Yeah. So they're sleeping and Sean has a nightmare and clings to White, of course. Um and they are woken up with a gas can that is thrown into the room and starts like smoking up the room, which is so scary. And eventually like White helps Sean get up and like Sean kicks down the door and they get out and they're like, "What's happening?" And then Gumpa's there and he's like, "You guys are too slow. This was a test and you guys were too slow. You should be ready at literally any second." Uh Gumpa runs these guys like it's the Marines.
It's
Like
crazy.
he he's like their drill instructor. It's nuts.
I want Gumpa's backstory
I know. I was just thinking that. I was like, I need like a backstory that's just Gumpa and like how
right?
we got to this place.
Because he doesn't go on most of like their missions. Like so he's running everything from like the
Mhm.
background and like training them to be able to go do this stuff and then it's just like, "Hey, bye, good luck."
Yeah, he's like he supports them more than anything. He's like, I'll give you a place to train and a place to plan and a place to sleep, but like he's not too hands-on with any of the
No.
actual stuff they do. So it's kind of an interesting relationship they have with him. And he's really the only one we don't get any of his backstory
Nope.
because the rest of them we do. So I'm like I love having like an older man have like a bigger role in a BL. I do wish we got more of his story too because nothing's better than some old man yaoi. So
Which is funny cuz he's younger than Off is. Like the
it's
actor? Yeah, yeah.
so funny.
Papang
I mean, he
is
doesn't look old or anything, but I
yeah,
they treat him like he is, you
they
know.
do. It's the Earth treatment all over again.
He's getting the Earth treatment for sure.
Cuz he's a 93 line and Off is a 91 line. Cuz
That is so funny.
Off is like the only BL actor that's like older than me, and it's only by 8
Mm.
days.
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't know he was, like, younger than Off, but they do, like, I mean, they treat him like he's, like, a uncle figure or whatever, but
Yeah,
that's about
he's
it.
a couple months older than Gun.
Okay.
Or a few
That's so
months.
funny.
February to October. That is the age difference.
I feel like I've seen him in other shows too, and he's always, like, some older guy.
Yeah. 'Cause wasn't he in, oh, what was it? I forget what it was I saw. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was because in Only Friends,
Mm.
he's
Oh,
the
yeah, he's with Mark.
yeah.
Dude, this show is the Only Friends reunion. That is so funny. Yeah, he's, like, Mark's, like, boss, and then they're,
Yeah.
like, hooking up.
Hmm.
That's hilarious.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
more Old Man Yowie, please.
But can we actually have like older men and not age up the like 20 something year olds? Um
Yeah, I agree. Um, but yeah, so okay, Gumpus wants to train them more, and Sean is like grilling White too, because he's like, "You've changed. What the fuck happened?" And White's like, "What do you mean?" And Sean's like, "You helped me. Like, you picked me up off the floor and helped me out of the room. Whereas on our first mission, remember when I got caught and you literally just abandoned me? Like, he's like, you've never helped me before. Like, what?" He's like, "What trauma did you go through to make you a nice person?" Like, he's genuinely concerned.
it's so funny.
It is. And Yoke notices he like takes a look at Unar's most recent mural, and on the bottom he sees like a little portrait of him. Like he was drawn into the mural, so that like yeah, again that just inspires him to chase after this guy more, even though he did pull a gun on him last time. He's like, "Oh, he wants me."
I mean, I would also think something's up at that point, you know? Like if I've made it into
Yeah.
this mural because it was like him holding like the torch which was from the fire, right? So that's
Mhm.
yeah. I would also immediately be like, okay, this is a thing now.
Yeah, he wants me.
My toxic trait is being the center of attention. Yes.
Yeah. And this is also when White learns about Eugene, who is Black's ex. And she's a dancer, and he basically like visits her faculty to just like see her, and she's a dancer and she's doing this like interpretive dance to like spoken word poetry. Like she's very involved in activism as well, but her medium, like some of them do graffiti and like some of them do other things, but she does like dance basically.
I
So
loved her
he knows.
dancing.
Me too. I thought like her dancing and stuff was like really cool
Hmm.
throughout the show. So at least he knows that like she exists now,
Yeah.
which would have been awkward if they just ran into each other in the wild and she was like, "Oh, my boyfriend," and he would have been like, "What?"
Who are you?
Yeah.
So
And so White goes to Todd's apartment to catch up, and like we see that Todd is rich as fuck. Like they make some mention about how his dad is rich. And like rewatching this now, I was like, "Oh, is his dad Tawi?" And
his
it's
dad's dead.
yeah, I
It's
know, but I was like, when I heard that, I was like, "Wait, is he Tawi? Like we haven't met Tawi yet." I was like thinking along those lines, which aren't true, but when I was first watching this show, I didn't think anything about it.
No, I was like, oh yeah, rich friend. I mean, it makes
Mhm,
sense because I assume Black went to some richy like private school, and that's where he met Todd. You
exactly.
know, or
Yeah, they grew
they
up
were
rich together.
yeah normal.
Mhm. But yeah, important to note, Todd is extremely, extremely, extremely rich.
Yes. After his dad
So,
died, he got everything. So
yeah. In lecture, they learn about impunity and like kind of the history with Thai law and just like, examples of people being above the law because they're so rich. And like one of these famous examples includes Tawi, who basically like his truck driver was murdered because he was caught for drug trafficking. And instead of, like, investigating Tawi, basically only the truck driver, like, they pinned, like, an entire drug ring on him, even though he was just the driver.
Mhm.
And so, Sean brings up this example, and he seems to personally hate Tawi. Like, he despises this man with a very personal passion.
Yeah, 'cause White's like, "Why what is Sean's deal?" Like, immediately, he's like,
Mhm.
"Why that specifically?" Because it was, like, not something that wasn't new. Like, it was,
Mhm.
years and years ago, so
Mhm.
but
He's
yeah.
like, "Okay, I'm not gonna mess with what's his name right now? With
Sean?
Sean right now because he's heated up about this."
Yep.
So now that the arson mission was a success for the most part, they are like having drinks and barbecue at the garage, and they kind of discuss what institutions they want to target next. And to decide like whose plan they want to continue next, what they do is they bring out one of those toy crocodiles where like you press the teeth and it like bites on a random person. Um, and they're all doing this, and it ends up biting on White. And White is just he's just there. So far he like doesn't really have any at this point, he doesn't really have any like political motivations. Like he's still kind of learning about that.
Mhm.
So he just gives it to Sean, which is funny because he was fighting Sean for like who would get chosen, and then once he was chosen, he was like, Sean can we can do what Sean wants." Um, and what Sean wants is to destroy like one of Tawi's big businesses because he has like a monopoly on it, and they're anti-monopoly. So that's their next target.
It's really interesting seeing, like, because they do, like, a round table of, like, what everyone's, like, plans are before they play the game, and you see kinda, like,
Mhm.
what's really driving everyone and how they're like, "Okay, we'll just tackle these basically one at a time."
Mhm.
So, the arson was actually Black's plan. That was, like, his
Mhm.
from, I guess, the last, Crocodile game,
Mhm.
and I don't remember what Gom's was, but Yolk's was something to do with his mom because of, like, the disability, like, discrimination and stuff like that, so
Mhm.
and Gumpa's just there.
Yeah, he's just there to facilitate. And then White calls Eugene over, and she's annoyed because she's like, "I thought you liked me, but you ghosted me," which we know it's because Black is in a coma, which is why she was ghosted. But of course White has to be like, "Oh, sorry," and he like hugs her and they kiss, and it's like really like, ugh,
Yeah.
it's your brother's girlfriend.
"What are you doing?" But he's also
He,
not happy about it, so
no. And he ends up getting her, like, really drunk so he can look through her phone, because she's a suspect to him, basically, so when she, like, passes out, he is, like, looking through her phone, and he, like, because he notices she's, like, getting weird texts, and she's, like, sending a text to someone about how she's meeting up with him, so he's like, "Okay, maybe she's conspiring." And so when she leaves the next day, he follows her, and she meets up with Gam.
ooh,
Uh-oh, what does that mean?
that's gonna be some problems.
Mhm.
So, episode 5 goes straight back into it where he's followed her and now Gam is there and they're, like, hugging. So, like, it's not just, like, a casual meetup, like, there's something going on there. So, um, that's, White is like, "Okay, Gam is now suspect number 1." But
Yeah.
but he wasn't surprised to see me when I was black at the whatever. Like, he was surprised, like, he was there early, but he wasn't actually surprised to see him at all. So it's like, okay,
Mhm.
that doesn't make any sense.
No, but he's like, "Maybe they wanted to kill me to get me out of the way so that they could be together,"
Yeah,
is, like, kind of a possible theory there.
it's a hell of a thing to do. Like, y'all are
It is,
20, just
yeah.
break up.
I know, exactly, like, there's easier ways to go about this, and he
Yep.
recognizes that too, and so he's not, like, super suspicious of them, but he's gonna, like, poke and prod at it a little bit more.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really the only pathway he's got at the moment, so it's like okay.
Mhm.
So, but then he goes back to the garage and he's in Sean's room, which is also his room, right? And Sean and Namo are sleeping in the bed when White gets there. And White's like immediately just super upset. And Namo's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go. Bye." Like
Mhm.
Sean like sees her out and comes back in and is like, "The fuck is your problem, right?" And so then they wrestle, and it's like the whole issue is White is very particular about who sleeps in quote unquote his spot. Um, he's kind of like a clean, like very clean person, and things like that trigger him.
I honestly
So
think it's just a lie. Like, I think he's pretending to care that someone's sleeping in his spot, but in reality, he's jealous that someone is sleeping in the bed with
that could
Sean.
be. I just
I'm pretty sure he's just like lying about it.
yeah. I mean that could be. But it was also like when Sean shows up at his place and is like, "You have to sit on the floor because I don't want your outside clothes on my bed," you know. So,
Mhm.
which might have also been fake. So,
Yeah.
it's hard to tell, but
Mhm.
they do wrestle for a bit, and then White storms out, mad again.
Mhm.
And then we get to chase tag, which is just a lot of parkour.
The scene is so ridiculous.
It's it's so funny.
It
Um,
is.
but yeah, they're running around all these buildings, just doing a shit ton of parkour. And White doesn't know shit about parkour, so like, sure. And they get to this big one where they have to jump from one building to the next, and White's just like, why would I ever need to do
Yeah,
this?
it's stupid. It's like an 8-foot gap. Like it no one's making that in real life,
No,
but
no.
I
Even
guess for the show.
we'll allow it. It's fine. Um,
Yeah.
so,
But
but
it
yeah,
is so it's like so dumb. It's like you're just gonna kill yourself for no reason.
yeah. But yeah, Gumpa's there and he's like giving him a pep talk and he's like, it's all about the mindset, whatever. No, it's not. There's skill involved with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And and then White makes the jump, but just barely, of course, because drama. Um,
Mhm.
all I could think about with this is I don't know if you watch Markiplier any. Um, but
Sometimes.
I think it's on his podcast. I think it's on Distractable that he talks about it, where he got in his head while he was in college that he should join the parkour group on campus. And so he joins up
Really?
with them and they're like the parking garage and it's like the third floor like of the parking garage and they all like climb down like they're supposed to and he doesn't know what he's doing and he like falls out of like a third story building somehow. He's just like lying on the ground and they all just run and like leave.
I did not know this.
It's my
That is so crazy.
it's such a Mark story, but that was all that came to mind when I was watching this. It's like this
I
is a
I see why. I
yeah.
totally understand. No, that was almost white today.
Yeah, it was just so funny. So I was like, you know what? This isn't that unrealistic to me anymore.
Parkour is just like so funny to begin with.
Yeah, I like the. Have you seen the trend on like TikTok or whatever the parkour trend now?
Yeah,
Where you
I
like,
see a lot of people doing that.
yeah, where you just like fake doing stuff.
Parkour.
Yep.
It's a very like 2008 trend. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah. So they do that, and after that big jump, everyone just kind of like lying on the roof.
Mhm.
They're like, "Okay, we're done," and Ever I think they Gumpa tried to get him to go again, and White was like, "Absolutely not. I have to go
Mm.
study because we have a big test, and Gom's supposed to tutor or like study with me, so he's got to go too."
Mhm.
And so they go back to Gom's dorm or apartment or whatever it is, and they go to study. And but Gom like collapses on the bed immediately. Is like, "Let's do it tomorrow. I'm tired." And White's just like, "No, we have to do it now." And like Gom's like changing his shirt,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Okay, Mond, you can just keep the shirt off."
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But yeah, they also have like this little flirty moment and your comment on here cracks me up because I feel the same. Of
Mhm.
I want Mon to kiss everybody. He's well
I
on his
do.
way.
Only Friends was like the reason why it's my favorite show is because Bond was kissing everyone, and I love to see it.
Bone
And This part, there was, like, a part where they just, like, their faces were so close, and he, like, grabbed him by the chin, and I was like, "Oh my god, I see it."
Only Friends Dream On should be happening soon. I'm waiting for the announcement. I don't know when it's gonna come, but they're done filming. I'm pretty sure. So,
I hope
and
Mond is there and he's kissing everyone.
right, that's where I'm like, okay, I've heard the whole cast is coming back, and I'm like, is it really the whole cast, or are you lying to me? Because I
'Cause
need more Boeing.
yeah, 'cause, Mond is, like, a support character or even, like, a guest role because he's only in a couple episodes, so
Yeah,
I don't know if that includes him, but I would love
yeah.
it if it did.
He came in, made out with everybody, and left. You know,
Yeah,
um, he did what he came to do,
dream
and
role.
right. Um, I could see that fitting in as another cameo. Like whatever. We'll see. We'll see. I'm really
Yeah.
hoping though, because I watched Only Friends before I watched this, so that was my
Mm,
introduction to Mom. Was him coming
yeah.
in, wreaking havoc, making out with everybody, and leaving. Um,
I would say it's his most iconic role.
yeah. Although I don't know, I do really like him in My Golden Blood.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. For how much I dislike that show, I did like his character.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, him coming in and the pool scene specifically.
Mhm.
Yeah, Only Friends. But yeah,
Watch it.
yeah, definitely, definitely thought something was going on with Mond and off here though with White and Gam. I was
Mhm.
like, definitely like Gam got something with Black that we don't know about.
Mhm.
So, but Gam goes to like take a shower or something, and so or no, he goes to buy White food randomly. Uh,
He just goes, like, by dinner, kinda.
Yeah, but he specific no, when he goes to leave, he's like, "I'm gonna go buy you something to eat. You go read whatever until I get back." I'm like, "Okay." Um, for White, it makes sense because he's like everybody's little baby girl, basically. But like for Black, that doesn't make sense to me to be pampered
Well,
that way.
Gam and Black were really close.
Yeah.
Like, out of everyone, they were, like, really close friends, and what we're about to discover is that
Mm,
White thinks that maybe Gam has, like, a crush on Black, and that's kinda
yeah.
why he's acting this way and doing this stuff, but I think they were just, like, close friends and
Yeah. Yeah.
that Black treated him well, which is why that they were close.
Yeah. So Gam leaves, and White immediately starts snooping through all of his stuff, trying to find a hint to everything. And he finds the drawing of some dinos that matched ones in Black's room, and like they have like a B and a G on them, so it's Black and Gam. Um, and also there's like this note with like a drawing, like a note on the drawing of the dinosaurs, and it's apologizing for seeing whoever as more than a friend. So
Mhm.
Gam comes back, and Black's like, you know what? Actually, we're not gonna study. I'm gonna leave. Bye. Cam's like, hey, before you leave, at least eat the food I just bought. And so he like wolfs it down.
Mhm.
So, and then Todd and White meet up again. And Todd is telling White that the authorities have just considered like Black's case just like an altercation and nothing more to look into it. Um And he's also like, "Hey, also don't get your mom involved, because Black is no contact with her. They had a big
Mhm.
falling out, and they're kind of done with each other. So both these parents,
Mhm.
just fantastic parents. Um,
Yeah, they're terrible.
so and then we're back to Yoke, who's just spent his entire time just stalking this artist now. Um, and Yoke somehow finds him, and he creeps up on Unar while he's doing like his newest mural. And while they're there, the cops show up, and they're both on the run, together, until they kind of get away, and like they're like talking whatever, and then Unar finally like dips from there too. But before he does, Yoke does manage to pickpocket his wallet.
Nice.
And that is where we learn Unar is also a cop. Ooh.
Oh,
Was that the
spicy.
was that the other plot twist? The third one?
Um, oh,
No?
no, I was thinking of the one with Unar and, Sean's dad.
Oh, oh, okay.
That's what I was thinking of.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So now we have Unar as a cop. Uh oh. And then White is in Black's apartment where he hangs out when he's not with anyone. And he gets a call from Sean. And while they're talking, it sounds like Sean's getting like beat up. So White's like, what the fuck? And he's like running to the garage to go, save Sean because he's skilled enough to do that. Um and when he gets over there, a bag gets thrown over his head. So now he is kidnapped or something. Um,
Right. So, we see him and Sean toss into a pile together, and they're being interrogated about, like they're asking, like, who they got guns pointed, and they're like, "Who's in the gang? What is your plan? Like, tell us, whatever." The guy basically knows, like, their plan to sneak into the manufacturer. And this whole time, White has been asking, like, Gam and other people, like, "What is the plan?" Like, no one's informed me, like, what the actual plan is, and they keep just being like, "Sean will tell you, like, when it's time, like, don't worry about it." Um,
sure.
so yeah, so the guy is asking, like, "Who else is in the gang? Like, tell me." And he, like, pulls the gun on Sean, and White, like, immediately snitches basically on everyone, and it's, like, to save Sean because 'cause they're like, "We're gonna shoot him if you don't tell us." Um, but this was another test, and
These
the
damn
gang comes down,
tests.
they're like I know, they're like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, this is why we haven't told you the plan so far. It's because like, you're gonna snitch on us, you're gonna get us caught." And he is basically like, "I mean, I'm sorry, I just, like, I value your life more than I value, like, anything else, so I that's why I told."
Yeah. Which is
And they're
funny because
finally
Black wouldn't have
mhm.
been that way at all. Black is like,
No.
nothing matters more than the plan, and our lives are meaningless, basically.
Yeah. Like, and, like, he's just, like, so bad at being black,
He is.
but
It's This is about where he gives
he
up
can't
pretending.
change.
He's just dressed
When
as Black but being himself after this.
yeah, when it's life or death, it is kinda hard to pretend to be someone else because it's like, if you just fundamentally value 2 different things, it's like,
Mhm.
what you can't do anything about that.
And, like, this is such a hard test too because, like, my logic would be like, "Okay, I'm gonna die either way, right?" Like, that's how these end,
Mhm.
right? Like, I tell them and they go, "Cool, thanks for the names," and then kill us anyway?
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah, because then the rest of the gang is like, "Don't like, can't believe you sold us out like that," but they do tell him the plan, and the plan is basically to sneak in. They're gonna add this, like, bitter flavor to the drinks at the drink manufacturer, and that way, like, people will lose trust in the brand, basically.
this is a
So,
weird plan.
this is, like, a very weird plan, but, like,
This is
okay,
this is
I
very much
guess.
20-year-olds not having an idea what the hell they're doing, is what this feels like.
Yeah, their plans are honestly quite bad in this show, but I guess it's, like,
It
lore
makes sense
accurate
though.
to
Yeah.
20-year-old boys.
Like it's a weird plan, but it's one of those of like, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. They're like, maybe then, like, people will look into, like, the quality of how the stuff is made, but I don't know how it would, like if it actually would do anything.
Yeah.
And so Sean is, like, drinking in his bedroom, and he says that, like, Black is, like, changed a lot, because like, now he's like, "You value your life more than your ideology," which is, like, completely opposite from what you did before. And White basically explains, like, his point of view where he's like, "Well, I just feel like now that, like, you can make as long as you're alive, you can make a difference and you can keep fighting, but as soon as you're dead, like, you can't do anything else. So that's why, like, above everything, I value your life."
Hmm.
But Sean is like, I get it, but I'm willing to change to trade my life for this. Like, to take down Tawi specifically, like, I will give my life for it."
Hell of a thing to say.
It is.
Like I
But I
I
guess it's all he's worked towards.
yeah, I mean I get it, but I definitely siding with White here of if you're dead and the mission fails, you've
Yeah.
accomplished nothing.
Yeah, and White doesn't know this yet, but it is kind of revenge for Sean.
Mhm.
So that's another motivation.
Yeah. Should we find out?
Basically right now,
Yep.
where Sean is having a nightmare and we see it. It's like a memory. And we see that like his father was the truck driver for Tawi, who was shot by a cop, which like at the time was seen as excessive force, but they were like, well, he was a drug dealer, so we're not going to look into who he was working for. We're not going to look into the cop that shot him. Like, so that's why he brought up that case previously, because that is his was his
Yeah.
father who was the victim.
Mhm.
So that is also the nightmares Sean gets is about that.
These nightmares crack me up because he ends up clinging to White both times. And
Yeah.
he wakes up and he's like, "Why are we cuddled together?" And White's like, "It's your fault. You
Yeah,
clung to
like you
me."
did it.
And Sean's always like, "Oh."
Yeah, I love their very like cat and mouse
Mhm.
romance they have. All right, so it's mission time to do add the bitterant to the drinks, and immediately White gets caught. Um,
Of
and
course.
yeah, he like talks his way out of it. He like lies, but he exposes his face, which is so stupid.
Mhm.
Um, and Sean just like chokes the guy out, and it's just like off to a bad start. And so White is very not okay with like the possibility of hurting people, both between like hurting the security guards that work there, and also he's afraid that this like powder that they're adding to the drinks is going to hurt people. Like even though they've told him it's not toxic, he's like, how can you be sure? And again, Sean just thinks he's mad that he's not in control because he just cannot fathom that like Black has suddenly formed empathy. And so he's like, listen, you're just projecting at me because like you're not in control of the mission like you were for the last mission. So that's Sean just keeps trying to like rationalize this cognitive dissonance he's receiving from Black. Mhm.
Like, understand who you are anymore. But
Yeah. And Yoke and Gam, they're kind of chilling because their job is to set off these fireworks to distract. And Gam does admit that he is in like a one-sided love, but he doesn't say with who. So we're kind of like, oh, is it Black or is it Eugene? Like mystery. And then they do their job. And White goes in and he's about to add the powder to the tank, but he doesn't. He like takes photos of it and like runs away. And poor Sean is like crashing out in the surveillance room. Like I would be too. Like if this is the plan and he just doesn't do it, I'd be so pissed. Um, but Tawi's men runs in and they are able to like get away, but the whole mission is just a complete fail like at this point. And this is like a really emotionally tense scene because like Sean like beats the shit out of White and he like chokes him to the point where like White might literally die. And it's just like full emotions and he at some point mentions something about his father and White clocks it immediately. He's like, "Oh, this is like about your dad?" But then he like unconscious. So it's very yeah, I love the scene. It was just so like high emotions and you can just feel like the anguish and frustration from Sean and just like their fear about like, well shit, like we are probably gonna be caught now. Like it's over.
'cause with Towie's men like showing up, the Sean didn't have a chance to like clear the cameras or anything like that either. So like there's
Mhm.
technically surveillance of them, like video of them there. So it's how good is the camera basically at this point. Um
Mhm.
which conveniently not that good. So
Thankfully.
yeah. But yeah, no, this was definitely an intense scene. It was kind of funny because they're like sitting around on the bikes and Sean just walks up and just like clocks him in the head with the helmet and then goes after him.
Oh my
It's like
god, yeah. Total concussion.
yeah. But yeah, definitely White is so close to death so many times because of Sean.
Mhm. It's a miracle that Black didn't, like, die in a coma.
Yeah. I'm surprised that we never saw like Black react.
Not till he's awake, at least, so maybe that's the
Yeah,
difference.
probably.
Mhm.
But with episode 7, we obviously pick right back up here with White being nearly choked out. Um,
Mhm.
and White then like tells his side of basically what just happened. And he's like, look, if we harm people in this way, like with this bitterant thing, uh it might backfire on us where people are like mad at us for like hurting them and they're not going to support us, right? Like then
Mhm.
which I fully agree with White. Like even
Yeah.
if you don't like physically get sick from the bitterant, right? Like it it's a I think that is a line too far of messing with people's like food and drink.
Yeah. And because like, the other side of that is, like, well, people aren't gonna care about this issue unless it affects them directly, is,
Yeah.
like, what one of them brings up, but, like, I see his side of things
Yeah.
for sure.
Like I agree people aren't going to care, but I think they're going to care more about the people who did it more than,
Mhm.
whether or not Tawi has enough like guards on his like manufacturing facility.
Yeah.
um so no. I'm definitely team White here.
Mhm.
That was not the move. Um which I will say, I don't know if it's in the notes, I don't remember. But at one point Yoko's actually, yeah, I didn't agree with this plan either. Or
Yeah.
it might have been Gam. It was one of them, it might have been both of them. They were like, yeah, we were just doing it because you wanted it, but I was like, guys, speak
We
up.
have Yeah, we need to, like, brainstorm plans together or something.
Right? Like this works better if you guys actually work as a team.
Mhm.
um so yeah, so Sean decides not to kill White. And they all split up and Sean and Yoke go and like they drink together and Sean thinks they're like fucked, right? Because he didn't get a chance to delete the footage there because he was busy being pissed at White and going to him and then they got attacked, right?
Mhm.
Um and this was where Yoke was like, actually I didn't think the plan was gonna work anyway, so I was like, bro. Um
Yeah.
but Yoke is optimistic that they maybe did do enough to at least inspire people to start rising up against Tawi anyway, because they do like White did take those photos, right? So and he has like a burner social media account, I guess, where he's been like tweeting and shit. um,
Mhm.
um and we see Yoke's mom again and she is out of work again. Because come to find out, she works at Tawi's factory, right?
Mm.
So because of what happened, the factory shut down for a while. And this is where she's like, yeah, Yoke is immediately mad when he finds out that she works at Towie because we all hate Towie, right? And she's like, okay, but he's not that bad. He actually hires disabled people. Hello, right? So obviously he's
Mhm.
not that bad. So this is where Yoke starts to have some doubt because he's like, wait, are we doing the right ththing or not? Um,
Mm. And even
and
Sean is there and he's starting
yeah,
to doubt it too. And
yeah,
I kind of love this little moral dilemma because this is
mm,
like a big part about if you're doing sort of like violent activism,
mm-hmm,
like there like if it gets to the point where like if you're hurting people and affecting their lives, like is it actually helping?
right,
Like I know
because
that's like a lot of discussion, especially for like Vietnam War protests and stuff. Like
mm-hmm,
I know on like my campus there was like someone set off a bomb in the middle of the night
oh
at a
god,
building because the university was supporting the war efforts, and it
mm-hmm,
was supposed to just be a demonstration, but there was like a professor who was in the building at like 1 a.m. who ended up dying
oh no,
type
yeah,
thing. Yeah. And so like it kind of gets into that territory where it's like at one what point does if you're not peacefully protesting, if you are like taking action, it might get to a point where you are hurting more people than you're helping,
yeah,
and it gets a lot more like muddy. Like it's like less
mm-hmm,
morally clear who's in the right and who's in the wrong here, and I
yeah,
kind of love that for the show to just
yeah.
to put some like moral ambiguity in there.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's already where you start with like White, right? Like with him going,
Mhm.
"Hey, putting this food like this in in a drink." That's where that it starts already there. Like, okay, you're going to hurt people in some way, even if it's not like a put them in the hospital sick type of a thing. That's still
Mhm.
that's a thing. And now you've put Yoke's mom out of a job temporarily.
Mhm.
Tywee
And
spends
apparently other disabled people who
yeah,
can't get a
right.
job in the city.
So it's already a group of people who are already struggling, and you're making their lives actively worse. Um,
Mhm.
so it does go okay. Time to step back and rethink things, and
Yeah.
maybe figure it out a little bit. Um, because we do see exactly what White was fearing too, where um there are some people who are upset with Tawi, right? But most people are on his side because he spins it pretty well, where he's like, I'm going to take care of everybody anyway, right? It's fine. Don't worry about it. So basically, like, even though they're technically not working, they'll be fine. We'll take care of them. They just have to, reach out to me basically, um, and do that, which is exactly what somebody with a good PR team would say.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so, um, obviously
The
it's
show does
one.
a good job of like showing like cuz the whole show Tawi never comes off as a bad person.
Mm-mm.
And it's like clearly he is cuz he's doing these things, but like he's not like a cartoon character villain. He is just like a realistic villain where he's a rich man who has a lot of money and connections to appear like he's not doing the fucked up things that he is doing. And even to us, it's like he seems level-headed and
Mm-hmm.
decent, but like that's not what's going on.
Yeah, I mean the worst we've seen is we know he's involved with drug trade somehow, right? Like
Mhm.
that's the worst we know of him, and we obviously that's not good. No, not to be light about it, but comparatively, it's not like he whatever we've seen worse villains as far as that
Yeah.
goes.
It's just like a good realistic portrayal of like
Yeah,
a villain,
yeah,
basically.
because this is literally how the world works. The rich people have all
Mhm.
the power. um I'd say in the US we're seeing quite a bit of that.
Mhm.
I'm sure that is everywhere. Um
Yeah.
so this is something that I would say translates to everybody. Um and then we have a protest for equality though, and this is one of the best like moments in Thai BL, I would say
Mhm.
overall. So,
Yeah, easily.
yeah, so you have this big protest for equality, and it's like outside of Taui's like office or something like that.
Mhm.
Um, because even though people are like siding with Taui, like you start to see on social media like the rumblings for this protest, and so when it actually happens, some of the guys from the gang go to check it out, whatever, and they're like in masks because they're like, we want to see what kind of impact we're having, right? Um, and Eugene is there doing her dance, um, and she and White talk, and she admits to kissing Gam after they broke up, and he basically tells her to move on.
Mhm.
um, I will say this is such a fascinating protest to me. I don't think I've ever been to a protest, but all the ones I've seen
Mm.
have not been set up like this. This reminded me so much of going to like a club fair at a university.
Mm.
At least the daytime
Yeah.
part, because they have like tents set up for like different like topics where you could like sign up for like the protest thing, like sign the petitions and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. I've been to a lot of protests because I live in my city's capital, and
mhm.
so it's extremely politically active, especially because
Mhm.
our college campus is next to the capital. And I
Yeah.
definitely don't think I've ever seen one quite this like organized where there is like tents, but like they usually do have people like with clipboards and stuff
Yeah. Yeah,
you
like
do
with the
the
clipboards and
protests for,
stuff.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
makes sense.
I
I
definitely see it. It seems more like pride protest or something. Like I feel like those had tents and it had games and other
Mhm.
things like that, activities, but that is kind of like tied in here where there is like a pride section of this protest. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's like a mix of that.
Yeah, it's definitely that this protest feels way bigger than just about Tawi. It's kind of like a very
Mhm.
very broad one, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But it was very cool setup, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so they have that, and uh, White pretends to be black and is just like, go away, Eugene. Um, I feel so bad for her.
I feel terrible for Eugene because she has no
Yeah,
idea, like, throughout this whole show that her boyfriend broke up with her not because he wanted to break up with her, but because it's her boyfriend's brother,
yeah,
and he doesn't wanna lead her on.
yeah. So that happens, and they go on. And then we kind of jump to like that evening, and there's this marriage equality fashion show happening. So again, if you're newer to TBL, last year, gay marriage was legalized, right, in Thailand. So this is before that.
Mhm.
Um, so they're doing this marriage equality fashion show, which is fantastic. And then Sean shows up because earlier it was just Black and Gam kind of walking around hanging out. And then I love this scene so much. I this with they're under they have like a rainbow tent thing. It's almost like what I don't know if you played with them in school, but like at PE
Mhm.
when you have like that big old like circle tent thing and everyone would like
Yeah, it's a
up.
parachute.
Yeah, tells how much I paid attention to what it was. I was just always under it.
Yeah,
So
I remember that too.
so it's basically that, and they they're under it and everybody's screaming and cheering and it's a rainbow one, of course. Um and like Sean like walks up to like White who's like in like the dead center of it. And White's just like celebrating and whatever, and Sean's just it's like the first time they've seen each other since Sean nearly killed White. And I think Sean's had like a little bit of an epiphany at this point.
Yeah. Of like, well, look at
Yeah.
how right White was. Like,
Yeah.
we were able to spark this change and not go through with potentially injuring and
Mhm.
people and stuff. Like we did it. Like
Yeah.
we didn't intend for it to turn out this way, but like it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. And so they're under this big old parachute and everybody's celebrating and then they do end up holding hands.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And they're cheering like down with Tawi, marriage equality, like stuff
Mhm.
like that. Like it's so beautiful.
I cried. Again.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
I
Oh
cried
yeah, easily.
just because
Every
it's such a
time.
moving scene, yeah. Um
It's
it,
gorgeous. I love the cinematography in this show.
mhm. I used to see gifs of this one all the time. I haven't seen that in a
Oh
while.
yeah. I
So,
still do on Tumblr. I
oh,
still,
that makes
it
sense.
like it comes up a lot, yeah.
So, but yeah, it's definitely an iconic scene in Thai BL.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't seen the show that you've still seen gifs of that and not realized it. Um,
Yeah. I mean, this is like the most political high BL that I can think of, and
hmm
especially having a scene dedicated to fighting for the rights of like marriage equality and stuff
yeah,
is so moving. And also going back to our discussion earlier, people being like, Asian BL is all fetishy
right.
content about boys. It's like, how can you clearly have never watched the show because how could you literally how can you think that? Like, that is just so disrespectful to the efforts of like activism and also the efforts of like the Thai BL industry to normalize and fight for like marriage equality and anti LGBT discrimination and stuff like
hmm And then,
anyway.
no, I fully agree. And with this show specifically, honestly, the romance side of this is kind of secondary for most of the
Mhm.
show. Um,
Yeah. And I honestly I really like my BL to be that way.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like a lot of times if the romance is the main focus, I can lose interest on it. Like, if it happens too quick and stuff, it's like, okay, you get together, now what? But
Yeah.
if you have like the now what first and foremost, and then the like romance weaved throughout the plot, I find
Mhm.
it much more satisfying. Um, I think the show does a really good job of that.
Yeah, I don't mind a romance-focused show if it's done well.
Mhm.
'Cause I do have a problem when the couple, like, gets together too early,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't have a like, I need you to make it be a will they, won't they for a while, but, like, not make it
Yeah.
boring. Because if they're together by, like, episode 4, I'm done by episode 6.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, at that point, what conflicts could you have other than like, oh, this person, I'm jealous of this person, they might be cheating on me. Like, no, I like to have some external conflicts or something going on. Like, you're
Yeah.
committing arson, that's
Yeah.
exciting.
And you can't just make it random shit. Now, like, you can't. A lot of times, I feel like when it's like romance focused, it'll be like, okay, episodes 1 through 4 is them getting together, and that is all we're
Hmm.
focusing on. Is this push pull, whatever, will they, won't they, and then we get them together. So, okay, you've solved the plot in 4 episodes, so now you've got 8 episodes to fill.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and that's where a lot of those type shows fall apart for me when they do.
Hmm. Me
So,
too.
um, but yeah. Anyway, we have now had our the greatest scene in all of BL, honestly.
Yes,
Not even just
it
tied,
is.
just the greatest scene in all of BL. It's such a
I
iconic scene.
agree. It's so beautiful, so amazing. I love it.
Yeah. And so after that, we jump back to probably the next day, and Yoke's in class or whatever, and he's like giving a presentation of what his like project he wants to be, so his professor can approve it. And like right after that's done, the police are like, "Hey, we need to talk to Yoke." And I love his professor. His professor's like, "What do you do?" Just straight up.
He's like the art professor, so he's just like, "Bro, what did you do? Like, come on now."
And Yoke's like, "Hey, I got a jet. Bye." And like packs his shit and just runs. But Mr. Yunar is too smart for that and catches him. And this is so funny because he's so manhandling him in the process. Because
Oh,
every time Yoke tries to like run in a direction, um, Unar is just like grabbing him and throwing him back, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, you do that, Gawain.
I love seeing First get tossed around. Are you kidding me? This man is like he has a couple moments to show where he just looks so slutty. Like especially the one where he's like boxing and he has on like low rise, tight, ripped skinny jeans. He's like shirtless. I'm like, I'm sorry, but this man, I love to see him get thrown around a little bit.
hmm
And this, I know Cowtongue's not going to be doing
No,
that, which is so valid. But I
that
love
would.
seeing him in this dynamic. It's really fun.
Could you imagine if Ray was feistier? And it's
No, Ray is all words,
yeah,
no physicality.
yeah. If they had him like toss sand onto the bed at one point, that would be insane.
Yeah, I would love to see it, but it is hard to picture.
Yeah, I
But
can't.
I love seeing like when First is paired up with Gawain, and then they're like, yeah, you just toss him around a little bit, like, and like clearly, Yoke is like so into it too, so it's like really funny.
Yeah.
He's like, do you know that guy in Chicago who's like, "Ooh, arrest me, daddy." I don't, and it's like, so, someone will know what I'm talking about. There's
And
this guy who roams the streets of Chicago and does that to cops.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I think his
Chicago
name
isn't
is
a real
Adam.
place.
No. But that is Yoke right now. He's like, "Ooh, arrest me, daddy."
I will say he is losing his shit a little bit here. It
Yeah.
doesn't take long for him to change his tune, but he's not happy about it at first.
Well, because at first he thinks like it's the actual police there to arrest him for like breaking into the factory, but then
Yeah.
once he learns it's Unar who's there to like get his he's pissed and he wants his wallet back. He's he's like a little bit more he's less freaked about it.
Yeah, because Unar like handcuffs him to the car. I will say one of the craziest things that this man does is he kidnaps Yoke, right, and then takes it to his fucking hideout.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
No, this is like fully like foreplay for them. Like
100%.
100%.
Because he's like, yeah, we're drives him to the abandoned building, and Yoke is like, where are you taking me? What are we doing here? And he's like screaming. He's like, I'm being
Yeah.
kidnapped by the police. And I was
Chill,
like,
man.
shut up.
I'm barely the police, okay?
Yeah, and he has him like handcuffed, and he's just like sitting on like a stool or something. and and Unar has to do like a pat down of Yoke to get his wallet so he can get his ID back. And while they're like doing that, Yoke's like, shouldn't I just take my pants off? Like totally at this point, just straight up flirting.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's wonderful.
It's fantastic. It's so funny. So yeah.
Mhm.
And then after he gets his wallet back, then they talk art and they flirt. Um It's
Nice.
funny. The handcuffs are like off almost immediately. Like it's so funny.
Mhm.
Cuz it's like Yoke I was like I could have just been like, "Dude, I spent forever trying to track you down. I'm not going to run. We're good."
Yeah. Like this is what I want. I'm exactly where I want to be.
No, you could have just walked up to me, you know?
Yeah. It didn't have to be that hard, but I'm here for if this is what you like.
So, we're going to go ahead and end part 1 here and make this a two-parter so we don't speed run cuz this show is too important I think to rush it, guys.
Mhm.
Um and so we'll finish the second half of the show uh next week. Um Let us know your thoughts so far if you watched it as well. And
Please.
yeah, I love talking about the show. Um, and you can find our merch at BL in the shop or BL in the air, BL in the shop.
Mhm.
BL
Yes.
in BL in the air dash shop.fourthwall.com. The link is in our link tree as usual. You can find us on our socials and Instagram at TikTok at bl.in.the.air, Twitter at BL in the air. You can find us on Discord. The link for that is also in the link tree. You can watch us on Spotify and YouTube, and listen wherever you currently are. And we'll see you next week for part 2. Bye.